Welcome to the Global Outlook for Wipes podcast, brought to you by Smithers Pira. The Go Wipes conference is the only event in Europe dedicated to wipes built through research conducted directly with the industry. It explores the latest in science, technology, business, and EU regulations. Go Wipes is made for the industry, by the industry, offering professionals from across the full wipes value chain the opportunity to gain insights into the issues that affect their market today.
Good morning, I'm Phil Mango. I'm a consultant with Smithers Pira, and I'm here with a couple of gentlemen, and we're going to discuss wipes. Gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Sean Riley with Dude Products, and our most famous product is the flushable Dude Wipes.
Yeah, and then this is Anil Kirhalli speaking. I'm with Kansan. We manufacture fully automated wet wipes machines. So it's a pleasure to be here with you guys.
Great. Do you make equipment for flushable wipes?
Well, actually, from equipment point of view, there's no specific equipment for flushable wipes. The machines that we're producing are actually processing both flushable or non-flushable materials very easily. So the question is yes, machines can do that.
Okay. So the first topic, I sort of started it already, was flushable wipes. I think that's one of the bigger buzzwords that I've heard around the conference this week. And I know you both have some understanding of the topic. So Sean, I know your product is flushable. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about why you wanted a flushable product and how well it's done in the marketplace.
Yeah, I mean, the reason we were flushable on our specification right off the bat was just because it was a moist toilet tissue product that you're going to be using in the bathroom, with toilet paper. And, you gotta be flushable these days and certified if that's going to be your application. So, I mean, for a brand, it's about working with a good manufacturer, who holds flushability to a standard where, other manufacturers, especially in other parts of the world, may not, have standards that they hold their products to. It was pretty much our number one, specification for our product to get it out to the market. And ever since then, we just upgraded this year to 100% biodegradable substrate, along with being flushable, passing, the GD3 test. So we're happy with our flushable product, and we just want to keep improving it and seeing what people like yourself develop next.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
You said you upgraded the product to a biodegradable material. Can you give more specifics about what kind of material is that? I mean, the biodegradable material, what it is?
Viscous. So 100%, viscous instead of having a synthetic binder in there like a few of the substrates, had before.
But this is also flushable at the same time? No?
At the same time, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I can add a little bit on that. I mean, it's a shortcut viscous product, so it's a shorter than normal cut. One, and what Sean's saying is that the older versions used to have some binder in them that weren't small percentages, right? A couple of percent.
Percentages, yeah.
And so that was the first generation of products that had been around for. When did you actually start?
With our first product?
With the flushable, first flushable
2012.
Product. Okay, so for several years, there's been a product around that has a little bit of binder in it, but now it's 100% binder free, 100% synthetic free, or not synthetic meaning non-cellulosic.
I say it's a good learning curve for me. What is this product called? There's a certain name for this substrate?
The hybrid hydrospun, right?
Yeah,
Hybrid hydrospun.
Wet lace, I call it. Second generation hydro-entangled wet laid nonwoven is the actual name.
Sure, your machines could run it, right?
Well, we tried the last hydrospun run was actually just two months ago. We did some trials and it was okay. I mean, but it is not our expertise, so I'm not good with materials. That's why I'm trying to inquire and trying to get more information from you guys. Mm-hmm. I think we can do that. Yeah.
Do you have to slow down like the speed of the kind of tensile strength?
Not drastically. No. We use a very sensitive servo technology, and we're not pulling a material, but we give a I will explain it in the afternoon session in my presentation, but we give a material a go, a very light go with a cylinder, and it's just a surface friction. And after that, we start pulling the material, and we use two different servos, so we can change the speeds of these servos, so we can easily adjust the tension, the strength even during the run. So maybe there will be some reduction in the speed, but not very drastic. I mean, it's not even going to affect the efficiency of the overall output.
Oh, okay. Do you see more flushable products now? I mean, are your customers asking for, equipment or buying lines and they're saying, that they're going to use to convert more flushable products? Do you see that as a trend or a move?
Well, I have been in this industry for 7 years only. I'm quite a young person compared to you, maybe.
Yes.
But in the beginning, when I received the inquiries from our customers or potential buyers about machinery, I don't remember if anyone asked that they're going to run flushable material. Even the air lathe itself, we didn't know what it was 7 years ago. And now things have really dramatically changed. Now every machine inquiry, every project that we are delivering, that they are seeking for runnability of these flushable materials. So most of the tests or FATs that we are performing on our machines are there going with these type of materials. So yeah,
So you do.
it's a trend that's going up.
Okay.
It's a converting machine too, not like the machine is converting into final wipe products.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, that's what we have been talking about, only the converting part, because the packaging part or other downstream equipment, that they have nothing to do with the process. As long as these stacks are coming into the packaging machine, that's okay.
So you take in roll good nonwovens and take it from there to the packaging.
Yeah. We even not only the packaging itself, but we put click lids, the pop-up lids on top of the packs, the plastic lids, and we put them in the cases if it's required. So or put them on the pallets. So imagine a system that ends at the end of the pallet, so you can just load it into a truck and just send it out.
Nice.
Yeah. Considering we're talking about flushability, one of the things that was discussed yesterday was the do not flush thing. And you're saying about the pop-ups, are you seeing more demand, or have you noticed anyone asking about the new lids with the, they're embossed with a do not flush logo or anything like that? Are you noticing that or hearing that?
Again, from processing point of view, production point of view, it's not going to have any effect on what we are doing.
Okay.
Maybe that question should be directed to our customers, and they have a better perception about it.
Yes,
they can
absolutely.
explain.
The sales and marketing end.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So, Sean, are all your products flushable?
No. So our other product, the Dude Shower Wipe, is a non-flushable, thicker wipe, which is labeled as such that is to fully bathe your whole body when you can't shower. So yeah, that's an extension of a different sort of wipe for us that came out this year. Kind of diversify the line. So Dude products, now you have your flushable Dude wipes, and then you have your Dude Shower, which is a non-flushable wipe. So yeah, we're expanding in other types of wipes that we think people can use for other purposes. Staying all in that male hygiene, male grooming, niche that we're in.
I saw your presentation yesterday, of course, and there were some interesting things. It seems like you have a real good feel for the marketplace. I'm just curious, what's your opinion, or what do you think about how much does flushability, when you claim that the wipe or say that the wipe is flushable, and label it as flushable, do you think that has a significant effect on consumers buying it? Are they buying the concept of a Dude wipe, or do they like the fact that it's flushable as well? What do you think?
I think a lot of people like the fact that it's flushable. Your average person isn't going to know these different industry, terminologies, and that it had to pass a test, and but if they see, the word flushable on it, and they're going to be buying it for their house, and, a lot of our product is sold in the toilet paper aisle right along only other flushable wipes. So they're retailing them together to kind of teach the consumer, oh, I'm in this aisle, all these wipes in this aisle are going to flush down my toilet, just like toilet paper. So I think it's important to, people, not going to say that there's not people still out there who obviously don't know the difference or don't care, flush anything down their toilet. But yeah, if we can just be a little bit part of the solution and, call attention, to it and some of the best practices, I think people will continue to learn that. And as we saw yesterday with some of the other presentations, there's a lot of different PR and, marketing going behind what you need to put, down the toilet and how it can affect, the general sewage system, which is definitely something that your average person is not familiar with, how a sewage system works. So, yeah, continuous education, but I think probably 50% of people, I would say, are familiar with a flushable product and they want it to be flushable because they're putting it down their toilet, and even if they rent, hopefully they care.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that came up yesterday as well in one of the presentations was that the consumer isn't willing to pay for concepts like flushability. What do you two guys think about that? I mean, what do you think about just in general? Do you think consumers are willing to pay a little extra to have a flushable product?
Well, I think it depends on the geographical region we're looking at. For like high conscience territories like Europe or North America, maybe people are willing to pay this premium to buy this type of product. But if you look at India, for example, it's just 1.2 billion people, and there is the portion that people could buy wet wipes is more than 30 million people. And I don't think they care about flushability at all. I mean, it's just, it's really, in combination, let's say, 30 million people, it's maybe more than half of the European countries in comparison with population.
Right.
But those people, they don't care. They just throw it on the streets. I mean, when you go to India, you will see that. Same maybe goes with China as well. So in this part of the world, people maybe they care about flushability. Maybe they pay a lot of importance to that. But it's when you look at the numbers, we can say maybe this part of the world, but there's still a long way to go on the other parts of the world.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Less developed countries are, it's assumed to be more about what's the price point and, can it get the job done? Then, does it meet environmental kind of needs or, sewage specifications and stuff like that?
No, I would agree with that on India, I think, because India is so small. I mean, as far as wipes penetration in India is still relatively low, and they're still learning what wipes are and how to use them. India, you would have expected to be much larger in its consumption of wipes already by now, but it's been slower than expected to accept wipes. But, considering that they have a shortage of clean water and a shortage of water in general in some places, a wipe's a good way to get around that. But surprisingly, not as penetrated as we would have expected, say, several years ago. So India doesn't surprise me. China, on the other hand, especially the upper echelons of consumers, I would expect them to be a little bit more sensitive to things like this because they sort of they make a conscious effort to be in line with Western Europe and North America. But back to the developed markets, because I know you typically address mainly North America. What do you think about the North American market, which is probably somewhere in the middle? Europe's probably the most environmentally sensitive, I guess is the word. North America is probably next. What do you think about the North American market? Do you think the North American market consumer is willing to pay a little extra for flushable wipes or flushability?
I think they probably would be willing to, but they really don't have to. You know, the cheap flushable wipes are the same price as the baby wipes. You know, you go to the grocery store and the private label brands are $1.99. You know, so doesn't get much cheaper than that for a pack of wipes.
That's true.
So like Dude Wipes is a different type of consumer. You know, it's someone who's willing to spend a few extra dollars for quality and a brand that they like, and something that they can relate to. But I think if you are looking for a very cheap product, that you can find a flushable wipe that is one of the cheaper wipe products in the store. So sure. I think in America, and I'm sure Europe is probably the same way, that these lower tier branded products are just as affordable as anything else, which is good, because you're not really asking the person to make a price choice.
Yeah, big sacrifice.
Right, you're just kind of asking them to be knowledgeable that they need to buy the flushable ones over the baby ones without really paying too much of a premium, I feel like, at this point.
And you're right you're absolutely correct, by the way, for baby wipes and among the personal care wipes, which is where adult moist toilet tissue, it's the lowest price of those personal care wipes. So they are very close in price. But look at Dude Wipes. Let's take Dude Wipes as an example, because it is a specialty, high performance, addresses a specific specialty market. If you took flushable off your label and said this product isn't flushable anymore, what do you think the effect would be?
I think it would definitely be less useful of a product. People would just consider it sort of a hygiene, it'd be more compared to like a non-flushable fem wipe or something. Yes. At that point, when, the Dude Wipes idea was always to be this flushable, butt wipe, for, lack of a better word, but also you can use it for these other purposes, sure. That you may have. Right. So yeah, I think it would be a less successful, less useful product, because people would kind of, pigeonhole it into this, certain use.
Yeah, different category almost. Because yesterday, one of the presentations, I think from one of the water treatment organizations, said that they want to say all wipes do not flush. They want to label all wipes at this point as not flushable.
Blasphemy, right, Phil?
Yes, I agree. I mean, I agree 100%, but then I'm not in wastewater right now, so luckily.
Right.
But when I heard that, I was like, and I think, in fact, I do think it's counterproductive. I think that consumers, it's like you said, butt wipes. No consumer is going to use a butt wipe and then not flush it. I'm sorry. I mean, no matter what you tell him, no matter what you tell a consumer, he's gonna flush it anyway. I mean. I live in North America, and I've quizzed people around the country about what they do with flushable wipes, or how they determine whether a wipe is flushable. Do they go by the label or whatever? And they said, even with baby wipes, they said, if I'm using it in the bathroom, what I'll usually do is put one in the toilet and pull a lever, and if it goes through, it's flushable. Seriously. And that's the problem.
Very practical approach.
Well, I mean, and it all comes down to your definition of flushability. For a consumer, if it doesn't plug up his piping, he considers it flushable. And that's why they find so many non-flushable wipes in the wastewater treatment system, because, a consumer, like I said, his decision is quite simple. Throw it in, one wipe, flush it. If it plugs, use his plunger, never flush it again. But if it doesn't plug, then he considers them flushable, and forevermore he's going to flush that wipe.
Maybe we're expecting more, too much from the consumer. Maybe, I mean, they are buying this product because it's convenient.
Yes.
So and that is the only purpose, actually, because it's convenient, it's easy to use and easy to get rid of. Mm-hmm. That's the idea. Exactly. And then we have to look at ourselves as an industry. We have to do something. We have to promote flushable materials, and we have to balance the cost of flushable material converting as well, the production as well, and also the function of flushable materials as well. Because when we make a comparison between a regular baby wipe and a flushable, let's say, baby wipe with the hybrid hydrospan or whatever it is, when you are cleaning the butt of a baby, or if you're a baby, even if it's your baby, your treasure,
yes,
you wouldn't want your hand to get in dirt, right?
No.
So that's the critical point, because it's easily thirable, and things can happen when you're doing that.
Right.
So to wrap up, we as an industry, we have to do something. We have to find ways, maybe put more R&D hours on how to make the flushable material more stronger, and somehow little by little try to replace it with regular spunless material. Although you yesterday said that it's not foreseen in the at least next 5 years time. But in my opinion, long story short, we expect too much from the consumers. I don't think everyone is going to have that kind of understanding or that kind of let's say environmental conscious level in their regular busy lives. I don't think so. It's not going to work. Whatever you put on the products, whatever conferences we held like this, it's not going to work. I mean, they're going to flush it down.
There's not going to be 1 million people listening to this podcast. Is that what we're saying?
Probably. There probably will be, at least my part of it. But truthfully, no. I mean, I think that's what Inda and Idana are trying to do. I mean, for the longest time, for many years, since the early 2000s, Inda and Idana were looking at how do we define flushable products. But in the last 5 or so years, they've come to the conclusion, how do we define and convince the consumer which wipes are not flushable? So this big thing about the logo, it used to, if you look at wipes today, most flushable wipes will have a logo on it that says, where it says do not flush. If they have it on there, it's tiny and it's on the back somewhere. You don't even see it when it's on the store shelf. But they're changing that. That's what they're trying to change. They're saying, how do we make it obvious to a consumer that he shouldn't flush this product? And that's by putting it on the top flap, making the logo larger. So Inda and Idana, I think, have gotten that message that, it's just as important to let a consumer know what he shouldn't flush as it is to tell him what he can flush. So I think that's one of the things that Inda and Idana, they recognize this. It's just consumers, like you said, a consumer is a fickle, customer. He does what he wants to do. No matter what you tell him to do, sometimes it's difficult. I once visited a wastewater plant, and one thing you would probably both agree that you shouldn't flush are rubber balls. But that's what the guy in the control room showed me, a collection of rubber balls that had been flushed through the toilet system. It was a large wastewater plant, and he had this big collection of all sizes and shapes of rubber balls. So, how do you
tell the 3-year-olds do not flush
I guess.
on the rubber balls.
I hope they were 3 years old. I hope they were 3-year-olds. Then I can justify it.
I can maybe argue that in a way, if you put a logo on a product saying that it's not flushable, and if people get used to that, and after a certain while they have an understanding that if any product that doesn't bear this logo on it means it is flushable.
Right.
But is it going to be? I mean, it's a paradox, I guess. Yeah, it's not easy. Again, we are just letting everything to the consumer. So and then they have freedom to do whatever they like.
Let me throw out a case and see what you two think about this. In North Carolina, in the U.S., they had the same problem. There were some wipes that were labeled as "do not flush," and people were flushing them. So one of the municipalities, one of the cities, actually put traps in the wastewater lines from houses. So individual residences, they went to the line before it got into the main line, and they put a trap to catch what came through, like a little screen. Then they went back and checked them, and if they found something that shouldn't be flushed in them, the first thing was they sent you a notice a warning notice saying they were going to fine you the next time they found it. And then the next time they actually fined consumers. Now, they couldn't do this to every resident. They basically selected, it was like a speed trap on a highway, where you sort of select some spots and you try to see what happens. So what do you think about that? What would you think about, do you think that's the way that we're going to have to go, where either regions or countries or whatever are going to have to take instead of the carrot approach, the stick approach, where they actually look for pluggages, and when they do, try to track them down to the actual offenders and then fine them? I mean, do you think that's a reasonable approach?
Again, based on the country, region, okay, you can apply rules if there are rules in the country in that setup. But there are lots of countries around the world uh, because of my job, I've been to everywhere almost, and
Okay.
it's not easy in most of the places. That kind of thing. In some places, if you try to apply such a rule, and they will look at you and laugh, really, because there are more pressing matters in the lives of those people who are living in the country, like Middle Eastern countries, for example.
Yeah.
Even my country, some parts, to some extent, they don't care about these type of things. Well, I am going to stick with my idea, I guess. We expect too much from the users of wet wipes, and we have to do everything flushable. Maybe that would be that would put a complete end to our discussions, our worries.
Well, no, actually, that's an interesting idea, though, because one of the things that I actually have noticed is that yesterday I talked about how much capacity has come on board of flushable nonwoven. So 4 or 5 years ago, there was only one or two different types of nonwovens that were really flushable by the GD3 guidance document. And so there was a shortage. Only, there was not everyone who wanted flushable substrate could get it. Now, in the last couple of years, there's been so much new capacity on stream that I project there's at least twice as much capacity as there is demand. So with that in mind, some of those producers are saying just the same, just what you just said. They're saying, look, why don't we make things like baby wipes and other personal care wipes, even if they're not used in the bathroom, and even if they don't need to necessarily be flushable, why don't we make them flushable? That way, if a consumer decides to use them for something that he shouldn't and flushes them anyway, they're already dispersible, flushable substrates. So that's an approach you sort of hinted at. Everything should be flushable, but the people who are making these flushable substrates would like to take that approach, would like to say, hey, let's use flushable substrates for other types of wipes, even if we don't label them as flushable. We don't label them as do not flush, but don't label them as flushable. And if the consumer should throw a baby wipe into the toilet, baby wipes today show up as a plug, plug or a problem in the line. But if all the baby wipes were made with a dispersible substrate, then we wouldn't have that problem.
Yeah, that's a good. It's a fantasy.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's a good fantasy.
Yeah.
I know it's a fantasy, but
Yeah.
I wish it were.
Yeah, the problem is that that a lot of these wipes have other requirements, as far as strength properties that for baby wipes are typically quite much stronger than flushable wipes at this point. And so they can make a flushable baby wipe, but the consumer would have to live with one that maybe his finger pokes through and he's not happy with because it's not exactly the same strength as the current baby wipes. So there's still a little bit of distance between them, but I think you're going to see in the next few years, you're going to see more flushable products and more products that are made with dispersible substrates that aren't traditional flushable markets.
Yeah, obviously, those people who invested in this new technology of flushable material production, obviously they want to sell their product. So they are going to use every tool available, marketing tools, PR tools, whatever.
Yes.
And then, we will support that.
Yeah, well, I mean, they made a big investment. They really have to sell them. I mean, that's the
Right.
thing. That's why they're asking me. They're saying, what can I do besides traditional flushable wipes, adult moist toilets? What else can I do with this? Because now I have more capacity.
Have you brought up the chicken feather wipes to them?
No, I haven't told them about any of that. No, it's I go in priorities of most likely and most reasonable down to least likely and less reasonable. So. But they're making other things. I mean, some of these companies are making like industrial wipes, and there is a baby wipe that's made with one of these dispersible products for one of the more greener wipes producers. So I mean, there are regions and areas where some of these products are being introduced where the consumer does. I mean, there's always some consumers that will buy a flushable product or a product that's positioned as more environmentally sound, even at a higher price and at a lower performance. So, there are some consumers, some percentage in different regions, it's different percentages, but there's always some percentage that says, I don't care if it's not as good performing wise, and I don't care if it costs me a little more, but if it's good or better for the environment, I'm going to use it. So those segments, so there's some of that already happening with these dispersible substrates. So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a different world from a flushability point of view in the next 5 years than it was in the last 5 years, I think. And you're talking about R&D. I think there's better substrates out there too. I mean, I think that they're more dispersible, and GD4 when it comes out is going to be even more difficult to pass than GD3. In some ways, it'll address some of the issues. And I think that the substrates that are being developed today will meet those. So we're getting to the point where there are not going to be big differences between sanitary toilet tissue, toilet paper, and non-woven wipes, flushable wipes, I think. Well, we've talked a little bit about flushability. Let's move on to other consumer perceived properties of wipes. I mean, what do you guys consider your consumers or the people who buy products either off your line or your products, what do you think they consider the most important properties of a wipe that leads them to buy a wipe? So what are they looking for?
I would probably usually say like time saving, convenience. We were talking about this the other day too, or if you can take something that people used to have to buy multiple products for, condense it into one, like the bath wipes, in the nursing homes, you're replacing the sponge, the bucket, the water, and it's all in the wipe. So, I think people intuitively understand those things, like, wow, look how much more convenient this made my life versus, the previous alternative, or, cleaning your counter, use the spray bottle and the paper towels, or just the wipe, So I think all the good wipe, products that really resonate with the consumer usually are saving them time, making something easier, or making something more efficient. My high level, I think what consumers, whether they think about it or not, the reason why they will move to wipe over the previous, solution they were using.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, I don't have much to add actually. Convenience is the key, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Convenience, because just like Sean said, you can replace any application with that, almost any cleaning application, and you can carry it in your car, you can carry it in your purse, you can carry it on you, like a product like Dubai, you can carry it in your back pocket, for example.
Yes.
Right. And you can bring cleanness or let's say freshness anywhere you go, and that's the key.
Yeah. What about cost, though? I mean, do you think a consumer even does that cost calculation? Does he try to decide whether it's cheaper to use a paper towel and a spray bottle when he buys a wipe? Let's say cleaning wipe. So a cleaning wipe. Do you think that the housewife or a consumer in general is actually tries to do that sort of in their head? Is it cheaper for me to just buy a bottle of cleaning solution and the paper towels? Do you think they do that at all? Do you think that's even an issue with them?
I think some people do. You always have your crazy coupon clippers.
Yes.
And they're going to be kind of cost analyzing everything. But in general, I don't think someone's going to do a cost comparison for their kitchen counter wipes, versus the bottle and the paper towels. I think they'll just kind of fall into a habit or a routine, maybe try the wipes out. I really think it'll come down to whether they like that and they feel it's more convenient than the, dollar or two, savings that might be there by, going back to the spray bottle and the paper towels. So I think most people will just kind of look at it, what they like better and what they feel gets the job done better, because we're talking about pretty low priced, items.
Did you get any pushback on dude wipes? I mean, did you ever get any consumers who said, "Oh, I could do the same thing cheaper, with a washcloth"? I mean, I'm serious. I mean, did you get any pushback from the consumer?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I heard it was a stupid idea and that no one would use it several times. So, but again, that's a lot of times if you'd only been using toilet paper, and you never used wipes before. Oh, that, what do I need that for? Once you get someone involved and using something, then their opinion can kind of quickly change.
So how did you decide how to price Dude Wipes?
At first, it was based on our cost, and then just looking at typical markup that you see in retail, kind of like a 4X, markup. Might have been even 5X at first, because we were a smaller company. We needed to make a little bit of margin and move this product, and we were buying at the lowest quantities you could buy the product at. So we didn't try and get too fancy with the pricing. We just tried to price it where we would make some margin at the end of the day, and it was a higher price niche item when it first came out. Now it's come down 30-40% from its introductory price, which is just making it more appealing to more people. So price is huge.
That was my point. I was trying to get to that.
I've noticed that when you and that goes back to the the kind of the Sam Walton and Jeff Bezos philosophies. Yes. Is if you want to move product, cut price, especially when you're trying to drive a new behavior. Not that the first people who were buying our product were obviously what you would call early adopters, on the bell curve, and willing to pay a price for something innovative and different. But once you grow out of there, you got to reduce the price, get more people involved, and keep trying to offer a economical price for a premium product. And is our product ever going to be as cheap as a Kimberly-Clark product or something like that? Probably not. But the closer we can bridge that gap, the more people will get to adopt the routine and our brand.
Mm-hmm. The other thing about Dude Wipes, I'm just curious. You said you didn't want to discuss sustainability per se, but just environmental awareness or environmental responsibility. How to me it seems like dudes are the least of the concerned parties when it comes to environmental awareness and things.
Right.
But what do you think? Do you really think dudes would care? When you say that your product, forget flushability, but just from the point of view that your product, do you say that it's like biodegradable and all of that stuff? And do you think dudes care?
Yeah, I think so. I think, the younger generation cares about, sustainable properties and stuff like that. So, one of our products, we kind of have a call out on each product that calls the green specs out. So one of our products is produced with solar energy, at the manufacturing level. So put that on the product, and, free from parabens. People want to know more what's in their product, and they're flipping over, labels and reading. So yeah, I think it's a trend that's still early with dudes, as you would say.
Yeah.
But I think it's just continuing to go in that direction, and will it be the reason people buy our product? No, most of the time not. But will it be something that once they discover it on the packaging, that is part of it? I think 9 times out of 10 that's going to be an extra incentive to someone, not a deterrent, in any way. And so it's something we're kind of putting behind our products. And
sure. Good. Yeah. Like I said, a little surprising to me being a seasoned dude. I wasn't sure that. Do you notice any difference between the different generations that you're marketing to? Have you noticed that there's a difference, say, between the millennials and the next generation? What's the next one up? Gen X or?
Yeah, Gen X. Yeah, we noticed that kind of millennial Gen X is our sweet spot. But we also do see, kind of this 50 and older, crowd, and we have some data on the sales there are, using our product. And, there's the whole big adult incontinence market when you're talking about non-wovens and the growth and, diapers and adult diapers, and, you got Depends for men and, all this other kind of stuff. So, if you're using those products, you're definitely going to want to have a dude wipe on you. So we see some pull into there, even though it's not necessarily an area we're marketing towards. It's still people who are appreciating, our product and the usage and finding it useful. So
yeah,
I think that's what it all comes down to. Marketing is great, making good products, but if people find it useful and your brand doesn't turn them off or anything,
Right.
they're going to become a customer. So
What do you see from your customers more than anything, I guess, as far as what they think the consumer is really looking for these days in wipes, besides, say, flushability? We're looking at just consumer perceptions. What do you think the consumer you said convenience, but let's get beyond convenience. I mean, do you think they're looking for softer products? Do you think they're looking for thicker products? Do you think market dependent, of course, but I mean, what do you see as some of the bigger trends in what makes a consumer buy a wipe?
Well, actually, consumers are buying wipes no matter what.
Mhm.
They buy wipes
Right.
for various applications. And I think for baby wipes, for example, the deciding factor would be the mothers
Mhm.
and the families.
Mhm.
Just like you said, if there is a paraben inside, if it's 100% cotton, if it's no preservative, no additives, nothing inside. So some mothers in the families, they literally read every single line written on the pack and try to find out the best fit for their kids.
Mhm. Do you think that's something new, by the way, that people are looking at packaging labeling more than they have in the past and are more interested and use that as a more of a decision in purchasing a wipe?
I think it's a natural result of internet era. People can access information and even some contaminated information. Like
Right.
sometimes there are trends
Are you
everywhere.
saying that everything on the internet isn't 100% true?
Well, there are trends. For example, if someone says, "Okay, paraben is no good," so everybody is looking for products without paraben. Somebody says that, "Okay, cranberry scent is soothing a baby," so everybody starts looking at this type of product. So it is just I think people who are doing this type of I don't know, internet marketing,
Yes.
who are building up these type of strategies. It's a way to affect the crowd, these people to guide their buying habit in a way. What I understand from my customers, for example, it's all about the packaging most of the time. Well, inside also matters if it's flashable, this and that,
Right.
but not everywhere.
Right.
Overall, it's all about the packaging, because what you reflect on the packaging, how shiny it is, how professional it looks, how hygienic it looks, the words, the statements that you choose to put on your package, all those things, they might have a real effect on the buyer's habits. And I don't see it only in certain areas. I see it everywhere around the world, because for an average wet wipe buyer, just approaches to the shelf, and of course he or she checks the prices first,
Right.
and then gets something which appeals to her or him, right?
Right.
Something from the outer look.
Right.
That's
Without
it. What's
ever seeing
written
the
on the
wipe.
pack.
Right.
So that person actually doesn't care how this product was converted on our machines,
Right.
under which conditions,
Yeah.
what type of material is used. Only what is written on the pack that matters to them. If you write that it's an organic material, if it's a flashable material, if it's something, again, the looks really matter, like everything else.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. Yeah, I noticed Dude Wipes has its distinctive, packaging as well. I mean, it's part of the brand,
yeah,
right? I mean, no, that is interesting. Yeah. So all of us non-wovens guys are obsolete. We don't need to make anything. We just need to get the packaging guys to make better packaging. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it sounds like that's what I'm saying. On a second thought, yeah. But we're talking about average consumer, right?
Sure.
Average person
Yes.
in a supermarket. So that's a very typical behavior.
Yeah.
when
No,
they're
I'm
shopping.
not disagreeing with you. I'm
Very
just-
typical behavior, and our job is to put the product there in a way, in an acceptable way.
Right.
That's what we do. But the guys who are on the marketing department of our customers, the wipe producers or merchants like you, buyers and sellers, that actually what makes the product sell.
Right.
That's what I think.
What are your machinery customers looking for? In terms of that technology or trending demands there?
That really, once again, depends on what kind of customer we're talking about. I mean, if you're talking about a multinational, high-demand customer, really care about the hygiene issues, then the TRS of a machine, the technical requirements of a machine could be like an encyclopedia of 300 pages. So we have to design a machine through these 300 pages. But if we're selling a machine to just another, a newcomer with very low expectations from different part of the world, let's put it this way, and usually expectations are low, and it's a bargain at the end of the day, and without harming the originality, the dependability of the production process, we can change the design accordingly. That also changes the price structure, etc., for the machine, but really changes. I mean,
so most of the stuff is pretty custom.
If you want to very shiny and glittering, a very high speed, really excellent machine, and it costs. It costs something.
You pay.
Right. You pay, and if you need something that just does the job, and it costs less, so that's it. Yeah. But let's say this conscious customers of ours, let's put it this way, the ones they know what they want with production of wipes. Of course, the hygiene is one of the most important things in the design of the machine. There are various levels that we have to take care of in the lotion delivery system, the CIP systems, the design of even the design of the folding plates, a lot of stuff actually. And second thing would be the flexibility of the line, I guess, because it has become a world. The world has become a place where now more and more private label producers are there. So they need to make changeovers on the machines very quickly, right? Without wasting time or resources or energy. So the machine has to be versatile, but also very flexible, hygienically proper. Yeah, these are the drive factors recently. Yeah.
Just one quick question, going back to the packaging end. You mentioned before India and China. What do you see as far as packaging and the effect on, say, emerging markets? I mean, is it as important in China?
It's even more important.
Even more important.
Even more important.
Okay.
For example, you can see wipe packs here in this territory, maybe coming in bundles of 5-10 packs in a bundle over bag or something. Right. When you go to these developing markets, you will see even 10 wipe packs, for example, 10 wipe packs for baby wipes. Please imagine a very thin product.
Yeah.
And you can buy it from a peddler because there's no distribution system in that kind of country. Right. So packaging, that's what matters actually. Really, that's what matters.
Even more so.
Because those people they don't usually care anything what's inside, what's written. Just if it's shiny, if it's good enough, hygienic, and they just buy it.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Go Wipes podcast. Check out the rest of the series for more information about this year's conference. If you'd like to register for next year's conference, go to www.go-wipes.com to register for Go Wipes 2017. Thanks again.